The 1970s through the mid-1980s were the most prolific years in sailboat manufacturing history in North America. Thanks to the boom in fiberglass production and a growing appetite for weekend cruising and adventure sailing, builders churned out thousands of boats each year. This era gave rise to more production cruising sailboats than any other time in history. If you walk around any marina today, there's a good chance that most of the boats you see were built in this golden age. Production peaked in the early 80s, but by the late 80s, the market began to slow and almost died. Sailboat manufacturers struggled to compete with changing leisure trends and rising costs, and production numbers never recovered. Today, we're celebrating this golden era by taking a look at 10 of the most popular and influential cruising sailboats built in North America during the 70s and 80s. These boats are tough, affordable, and still floating proudly in harbors everywhere. Whether you're in the market for a vintage cruiser or just love the lines of old fiberglass legends, here are 10 of the boats that shaped generations of sailors. Stick around to find out which boat took the top spot. Introduced in 1978 and built through 1984, the Hunter 37 Cutter is a classic John Cherubini design intended for bluewater cruising with over 400 hulls built. It measures 37 feet in length, 12 feet abeam, and displaces around 17,800 pounds. A fin keel and cutter rig give it solid performance. It's stable and comfortable with a hull speed over 7 knots. Owners report it heels with about 15 degrees, then locks in and slices smoothly through the waves, and it handles heavy weather with confidence. Below decks, it offers 2 private cabins, a teak-trimmed salon with drop-leaf table, and a full galley plus an enclosed head with shower. In the used market, it's prized as one of the real Hunters, built stronger than later models. Owners love its classic lines and seaworthiness, and while refits such as replacing the original aluminum tanks or leaky ports are common on a 40-year-old boat, the Cherubini 37 remains a beloved vintage cruiser. The Valiant 40 broke the mold literally by being the first to combine offshore cruising with modern performance. Designed by Bob Perry, it had a fin keel, skeg-hung rudder, and a sleek canoe stern. It could log 180-mile days yet remain comfortable and safe at sea. While fewer were built, it inspired countless future designs. It's a legend in offshore cruising circles. Built like a tank and ready to go anywhere, the Westsail 32 became a cult favorite among bluewater sailors. Inspired by traditional double enders, it featured a full keel, heavy displacement, and a sturdy cutter rig. Many were sold as kits and finished by hand. While slow, it could carry loads of gear, and it took care of its crew in rough seas. Around 830 were built, and many have circumnavigated. The Morgan Out Island 41 was designed with one mission in mind: comfortable cruising. It had a center cockpit, wide beam, and a huge interior. Ideal for cruising or living aboard, over 1,000 were built, and they became a mainstay in Caribbean charter fleets. A true floating condo from the golden age of cruising boats. It may not be the best looking thing on the water, but they are great for cruising and comfort. Canadian built and beautifully styled, the CNC 27 was a popular racer cruiser that emphasized performance. It has a swept fin keel, spade rudder, and a tall rig, making it responsive and fun to sail. Around 1,000 were built across 4 versions. If you wanted to boat a race on Wednesday and cruise on the weekend, this was your answer. The Islander 36 was a solid West Coast built cruiser that could also hold its own on the race course. Designed by Alan Gurney, it had a modern displacement hull, good sailing manners, and a comfortable interior layout. About 770 were produced, and its loyal following is a testament to its enduring appeal. The Pearson 30, designed by Bill Shaw, was one of the first production racer cruisers. It had sleek lines, a functional interior, and a strong fiberglass hull. Over 1,200 were built, and they remained popular with sailors looking for simplicity, reliability, and decent performance. If there's a boat that defined trailer sailing, it was the Catalina 22. With over 15,000 hulls built, it became the most produced sailboat of its kind. Lightweight, easy to tow, and simple to sail, it made cruising accessible for countless families and first-time sailors. Its swing keel allowed for easy launching and beaching. Its resale value has remained surprisingly strong. The first cruising sailboat I ever owned was a Catalina 22. It was a 1974 model. It was old, it was kind of beat up, it had soggy decks. It was still a lot of fun to sail, and it got me in the water for not much money. If I was starting over again, I'd absolutely still look at another Catalina 22. The Catalina 27 was the boat that helped thousands of people fall in love with sailing. With over 6,000 boats produced, it offered a great mix of comfort and affordability. Whether you were weekending with family or joining a race fleet, the Catalina 27 did it all, and it did it well. Owners loved its roomy interior, balanced home, and forgiving sail plan. And it was available in a lot of configurations, including outboard engines, diesels, wheel steering, tiller, whatever you wanted to set it up. It is still a go-to choice for budget-conscious sailors today. I personally owned 2 Catalina 27s, a 1986 first and a 1984 second. They make a great entry-level cruiser if you want a boat with an inboard and wheel steering and all the features of a bigger cruiser but don't want the big price tag of a bigger one. They're a great compact little cruiser that's fun to sail. The first one I picked up from a brokerage, the 86, and had it for a few years. The second one I picked up later on, off of Craigslist. It was a storm damaged boat, so I put a lot of work into fixing it. Both boats were a lot of fun and served me well on some weekenders and some other fun adventures. I would definitely buy another Catalina 27 again if I wanted a cheap boat. They were great entry-level boats in the 70s and 80s, and they're still great entry-level boats today. And here it is, the number one vintage cruising sailboat, the Catalina 30. With over 6,400 hulls built, it offered a massive interior space, easy handling, and became the gold standard for 30-foot cruisers. It's still one of the most loved sailboats on the water today. You can go through any marina in the United States and probably find at least 5 to 10 of them. Its long production run means strong parts availability, active owners groups, and an upgrade path that can take a classic hull into modern territory. I've never owned a Catalina 30, but I have sailed on a bunch of them. I have raced on a bunch of them from time to time. The best way I can describe a Catalina 30 is it's kind of the minivan of sailboats. It's not, the flashy boat. It doesn't look real fast. It's kind of tubby, but it can hold a family of 4 well for cruising or racing and get you around the lake. It's a good, reliable kind of cruiser that's good for heavy or light winds. Even decades later, thousands of these 70s and 80s classics are still sailing. They're anchored in harbors, hauled out in backyards, and waiting in used boat listings at affordable prices. If you're looking for a boat that's time-tested, proven, and easy on the wall, there's never been a better time to go vintage. Let me know in the comments which of these classics you'd take out for a weekend cruise or maybe even around the world. And if you love old boats, sunsets, and stories from the water, make sure to subscribe. More vintage sailboat spotlights are coming soon.
There was once a day that I would pray for you. I'd go and misbehave just so you'd notice too.